Hi everyone, welcome to Game of Dune Imperium Digital. I'm currently in Master Tier and this is my game, playing it from 4th position. In 4th position, with nothing notable on the row and nothing notable on text, I decided to pick Ilban. Reason to this is that Lito's not in this lineup, and Ilban is actually a very flexible leader, and so being in 4th position, which is generally considered the worst position, I think playing a leader like Ilban is pretty good. So Memnon is picked here in position 1. The reason that Memnon is picked here in position 1 is that Memo quarters is on the row. As such, with leader like Memnon, you can actually go to full space first action, and then with your second action, if Tech Negotiator is still there and you have your second ring, you can go to Tech Negotiator, then you can buy Memo quarters, and then you can get your spacing friendship that way easily. So it's a very good strategy, and very often players don't really want to block you on Tech Negotiator. It's not a premium space round 1 unless you have bad hands. So I actually don't get a very good start to this game. As Ilban, what you want to do round 1 is just to go wealth into Mentat and get a good buy. But this round I don't think I'll get a good buy, and also nothing really is working for me. I can't really deploy much into combat. If I deploy a lot into combat, this shipping bump will not turn into anything because Yuna will want to smuggle again. So in the end, the best reward you can get is spice, right? And so that's why I go steel suits. It's the best remaining faction space out of the remaining. Here I have a few options. I could either collect one spice and Imperial Basin, or I can go to Arakeen and draw a card. The issue I have with going Arakeen is that if you draw your diplomacy, is really bad. So 20% chance that you screw up your game, and I don't think that is worth it, right? And so other than that, also it leaves your diplomacy in a very bad point to cycle. But you also do want to have a bit more persuasion to buy. And I don't think collecting one spice is beneficial to me, right? So if I get third this combat, I get one spice, and then the next break point that you have is probably if you want to collect 3 more spice, or you want to go to Memo quarters, or you want to get Memo quarters from Tech Negotiator. So in that case, I think that going Tech Negotiator is best here. That allows me to just have more persuasion, and also it counts as a spice later on down the road. I'm very glad to pick up Bene Gesserit Sisters here. Certainly not as good as the In the Shadows that Yuna picked up, but really happy, 3 persuasion, I can't ask for a better card to pick up. At least it is useful. Alternative is buying a liaison, so this is way better. So end of round 1, I get 1 spice from the combat with 1 troop, really happy with that. Not insane start from me, but let's just see how it goes. So round 2 starts, and some notable things is that Ecaz had a very good round 1 combat. Some people might not value that combat very well, but that combat often leads to swordmaster. And as you can see now, if Ecaz goes to smuggle, right, he gets swordmaster immediately, which is really good, right? He gets swordmaster, then after he can just constantly trash out his entire deck. So really good start from Ecaz. Yeah, I'm pretty jealous. What that does do, it probably gives me 1 Solari, and with 1 Solari and with 6 persuasion in hand, if I go Mentat, I can draw 2 cards. The likelihood that I can buy Kwizats this round is really high, and with no Helena in the game, I think that's what I'm gonna do. Wow, Memnon gets Memo quarters and gets into spacing friendship, but Yuna does him 1-up by playing Bribery, getting her the spacing friendship as well. So she's able to cut Memnon off Interstellar shipping. This is really good from Yuna. One thing about Yuna is that Yuna actually values smuggling quite highly. So smuggling and Interstellar shipping are both very good for her. For my turn, I choose to go to Arakeen. The reason I choose to go Arakeen is that I have 2 actions left. If I go Arakeen, I have 3 cards in deck. As long as I don't draw my dagger, I get to play my diplomacy to a faction space, which I think is pretty good. On hindsight, I'm not sure whether I should have just played my diplomacy and then reveal, but I do want to deploy 1 troop into combat, at least to get some rewards. I can't believe Memnon went for Steel Suits instead of Hardy Warriors. Like there's a victory point up for grabs, and it's like a flat victory point as well. Yeah, like when I push in one troop, the reason I push in one troop is that I didn't see a world where Memnon wouldn't go Hardy Warriors. Like I knew he had a faction card in hand, I knew he wanted to play it. But if I knew he was just going to still so put in one troop, I would definitely put in 3 troops. And this gives Ecaz a combat with 2 troops. For someone with Swordmaster round 2, this is brutal. Like it pushes him quite far ahead. Yuna is also doing very well for herself. She has Interstellar shipping and In the Shadows. And Swordmaster soon. Yeah, bad for me. So with Kwizats in your deck, all you want to do is to draw Kwizats. Every time you draw Kwizats, you get insane value. So just draw Kwizats and win the game. And hopefully it's somewhere near the top of the deck. So if you're playing Ilban, the easy ways to do it is to just go to Mentat. So the question is that do you Mentat with your Signet Ring or do you Mentat here with your dagger? So when I looked at it, I think I decided to use my dagger as I would likely play Signet Ring. The only possibility that I choose not to play Signet Ring is that I choose to play Bene Gesserit's Sisters instead. However, I think that if I don't play Bene Gesserit's Sisters and just reveal for it, I think it's fine too. The reasoning for that is that if I play Signet Ring, there's likelihood that I can get Swordmaster next round. And then getting Swordmaster next round is quite important. So that's the reason why I choose to play Dagger instead of Signet Ring, because I do think that I'll be playing Signet Ring as another action later down the road. So one thing about Yuna's play this round is that she doesn't get Swordmaster. She doesn't get Swordmaster because she chooses to go Interstellar shipping over smuggling. I do think it's a mistake, as if she doesn't get Swordmaster now, she doesn't have priority for it for a while. Because she'll be last to act next round, and then she'll be like after Memnon the following round. She maybe doesn't see it because she doesn't see like how I can get Swordmaster, but with Kwizats you can do strange things. So my plan this round is to get the Spice and then after that go to Wealth and go to Conspire. That will get me a total up to 8 Solari, and I'll be able to get Swordmaster before Memnon next round. Which isn't fast, it's like around 4 Swordmaster, but still faster than half of the table, so I think that's pretty good. So this round, ideally, I want to just go to Swordmaster. Mentat's still available, I'll just try to go to Mentat. But also will try to go to Selective Feeding. All in all, is just trying to drop Kwizats any way I can. And then playing whatever faction access I have. That is the entire plan. So Selective Breeding is not available to me, a bit sad, but Mentat is, so I go to Mentat. I draw 2 cards and, well, Kwizats is in the bottom 4 cards of my deck. Unlucky me, but oh well, at least I got 1 play out of it already. And I'll have 1 play of it next round. After that, I just want to play my faction access. So looking back on this action, I'm not sure whether it's the right thing to do. I think I was very pigeonholed on playing my diplomacy. And if I play my diplomacy, I want to play it either to like Hardy Warriors or to full space. When I think about it, like the reason I go to Hardy Warriors in this case is that I want Solari for next round so that I can mentor next round. I think it's very good if I get Solari. But what else I could have done is I probably could have actually went to Imperial Basin and using Shifting Allegiances. It also gives me a pseudo faction access because the net influence bump is increased by 1. So I can shift down, let's say in Bene Gesserit, and go up 2 in Emperor. Then I can throw in a lot of troops and actually win this combat. Or try to win this combat. And it costs me very little at that point and it gives me a lot of Solari. That's something that I should have considered. I didn't at this point because I think I tunnel vision on playing a diplomacy, which was my own mistake. Saidina is a S tier card. Like being able to reveal for 3 with a Ferment Bond is really good, and being able to go to faction spaces and cash in for a point with 3 water is really strong as well. A lot of combats give water, so it's not as hard as you think. It's not always you have to like work very hard for it. So in this case, with 6 to buy, I choose to buy Saidina and Liaison over buying a Worm Rider. Worm Rider, yes, it's decent, but I don't think it fits into the plan of like when you're playing Kwizats. When you're playing Kwizats, you kind of want actually not to have cards that give you no persuasion. I think it just hinders you to buy your Spice of Flow in the end. One thing I don't like about buying Saidina and Liaison is that because you have such a strong deck with Kwizats already, actually you don't really want to buy too many cards. But I decide that Saidina is worth it. Bit annoyed that Yuna goes to win 10. That hinders my drawing ability this round. So I do want to draw more cards. So I have 9 cards in my deck and I want to draw more of them because then I get to see Kwizats faster. It's not good that I have to like wait for a whole rotation to see Kwizats, but this is what has to be done. So I want to draw as many cards as possible. In this case, I decided to go Dreadnoughts. On hindsight, I'm not sure whether this is the right move. The reason for that is that it brings me down from 2 spice to 1 spice, and I probably didn't think about it enough like when I went to the space. Like I actually do want 2 spice in order to go to selective breeding to draw like a ton of cards. But I think I've kind of forgot in this and then thought that drawing a card and getting Sonic Snoopers was pretty good. I think one of the reasons why I went this route as well is that I'm not sure like what card exactly I want to trash with selective breeding. On hindsight, I probably would have went to Arakeen first and then after that went to selective breeding. Then I can trash the Reconnaissance if I don't draw a dagger or something. And then I can draw additional 3 cards or 4 cards total for the round. So I think that's what I should have done. So here I decided to go to Arakeen. I think I need to draw cards. The reason is that when you draw a lot of cards, you just want to draw a little bit more. Like when you draw a little bit more, like you can get to very high persuasions very quickly. Yeah, and so I think that there are lines that if I draw a card and I play Kwizats, there are lines I can get to a Spice plus Flow. So I go to Arakeen and I draw Saidina, which is insanely lucky. Like by drawing Saidina means that with just 4 cards I can buy a Spice plus Flow. It means that I can play all my other cards. So generally in Dune Imperium, when you have faction access, play faction access. Especially when you have swordmaster. Yeah, this is because every time you play faction access, you get half a point. This isn't a great hand. I am a bit stuck because I can't go to Mentat, and nothing else is really good. Yeah, so spend some time now to think about what I should do with this hand. I think about it for quite a fair bit. In the end, I decided to go smuggling. Then after I go to full space, and then after that infiltrate to go interstellar shipping. And the reasoning I choose to do this is that it can help me to lock in the Bene Gesserit alliance. And against Yuna, who's the leader now, right, who has In the Shadows in his deck, right? So if I want to get this alliance, I need to steal all the way. I need to steal all the way from wherever I'm at now, all the way to the top of the rung. If not, it's very easy for Yuna to steal it back. And this like denies him that very easy point, and I think that it sets me up well for next round. It kind of like it's one of those situations where, I mean, it's not great, right? It's not like an ideal hand, like you don't buy a special or anything, but you do get something done. You stop the leader from getting another victory point, and yeah, you still get your spacing friendship as well. This requires me to use infiltrate, but I don't mind. So I finally get to mental again, I'm so happy. Okay, so I'm looking at how to win this game. For me to win this game, I need to win this combat, as well as need to do a few other things. I need to buy a Spice and Slow, and I need to get Fremen Friendship. I think all this starts with drawing a card, because unless I draw more cards, I am not able to buy a Spice and Slow. To win this combat, I also do need to collect Spice in order to create Private Army, and then I do need to constantly deploy troops into combat. Green has Highliner already, but I don't think he has many ways to deploy too many additional troops, so I'm not too worried about him. And I think that I should be able to win this combat if I just keep deploying troops. So, but the harder part is, how am I going to buy a Spice or Slow? Or how am I going to get my last point? So the line I ended up seeing was, there's another way for me to get a victory point, and that's through Sayadina. Right, if I go to Still Suits twice, right, I can get 3 water and then I can cash it out for a victory point. So this doesn't require me to buy a Spice Flow, and doesn't require like me to draw any specific cards. I have all the cards I need here. I can go to full space, and then I can play Kwizats to Imperial Basin. After playing Kwizats to Imperial Basin, then I can play Sayadina back to Still Suits, because I moved the agent away from Still Suits. And at this point in time, no one has additional actions already, so that would let me deploy all my troops, as well as be able to get 3 water to cash out for additional point, putting me at 10 points at the end of the round. So Memnon scares me with his Worm Riders. He gets up to 25 strength. And because when I play Kwizats to Imperial Basin I draw a dagger, actually it's just enough for me to beat him. And if I couldn't beat him that way, I'll go Hardy Warriors and put in more troops to beat him. But because he doesn't have intrigues, I feel very safe, right? And I know that I can just beat him by sticking to my original plan and getting up to 10 points. I don't think that there are any endgames that Ecaz can have that will allow him to beat me, so I'm confident if I win this, most likely I'll win the game, despite of what intrigue Memnon might draw. So I think I played well. I got Kwizats, but I don't think Kwizats guaranteed me the win. Like, Ecaz had a stellar start. Like, Ecaz got Swordmaster round 2, and when Ecaz gets Swordmaster round 2, like, he has a lot of power because he can play all his faction cards and he can streamline his deck very, very quickly. Yuna also got to a very quick start. She chooses to use the Solari not to get Swordmaster around 3, which I think comes to bite her in the end. She tries to race for 10 points but is unable to get there, especially because I block her from getting the Bene Gesserit Alliance. And I think that with that and another Spice Muscle, she gets to 10 points. But overall, like, it was quite a tight game. Quite happy Memnon also challenges like Yuna on Interstellar shipping later on. I think me stepping in to cut off Memnon from Swordmaster also does help, right? And overall, this game shows you the power of Kwizats, right? And Kwizats gives you a lot of options, and Mentat gives you like the most options. Like when you play Mentat, like one of the things is that it gives you perfect information, right? Like you draw more cards, and because you have like so many options, you're able to navigate like the scenario. Even though the board is very cluttered, like there are a lot of things. There are a lot of times you're able to get very cheap combat rewards, or able to like value your troops very well, able to like manage your persuasion very well, and that's the power of Ilban with Mentat. And with Kwizats, in the end, it's just a problem to solve, and got to 10 points and won the game. With that, I've reached ranked 84 on Master Tier, and I'm very happy with that. Yeah. Hope you enjoyed this game. See you around.